What is cardiopulmonary exercise testing? Cardiopulmonary exercise testing, or CPET, is a non-invasive exercise stress test, assessing heart and lung function during exercise. Your heart and lungs work together to deliver oxygen. The face mask during CPET measures the amount of oxygen your body uses, the amount of carbon dioxide your body produces, and your breathing pattern during exercise. While wearing a full ECG to monitor the heart during exercise. At Medicise, data undergoes expert analysis to quantify exercise capacity. However, the primary objective is to identify the physiological reason causing fatigue during exercise. This provides a detailed understanding of potential problems within the heart or lungs, or if there are any metabolic problems preventing the muscles to use oxygen during exercise. This is important as it provides insight of detecting change in disease, or more importantly, if current treatment is working or have to be adapted. CPT can identify heart and other diseases earlier than any other test. Through exposing the human body to exercise stress, CPET allows the exposure of novel information within the integrated physiology, which cannot be exposed during rest or other exercise tests, where single-organ assessments cannot provide the integrated clinical profile. Common conditions to be detected are divided between the heart, lung, and a variety of metabolic problems. Among the heart, common conditions include coronary artery disease, where an impairment in oxygen to muscle cells are present, heart failure, where the heart muscle is struggling to pump sufficient blood, and valvular disease, where a heart valve is impaired. Among lung conditions, impaired ventilation or respiration is common. Increased pressure of the blood vessels in the lungs can also be identified. Among metabolic conditions, a common problem is muscles struggling to use oxygen during exercise. CPET is the international golden standard exercise test. No other test exists that can measure heart, lung, and muscle function at the same time. You probably want to know more about the process of CPET. The assessment is broken down into various components. The first component is called a resting metabolic rate assessment. During this resting assessment, with a face mask, information is gathered to determine where energy comes from during a resting state. This information is specifically important to determine personalized dietary needs. The second component is a lung function test during a resting state. This provides information of the amount of air that goes into the lungs and the amount of air that is expired out of the lungs before exercise. The third component is the exercise test. Gradual increase of exercise stress until maximal stress is placed upon the body to assess how much oxygen is being used while the human body is placed under maximal stress. How often should I do a CPET, and what are the practical applications of this information to my daily life? Serial testing is a key tool to monitor changes in health. At least once a year would provide sufficient guidance, while ideally, twice per year would fast-track the halting or reversing of heart disease. Practical application to the body's ability to use oxygen can be explained in the following activities of daily living. Household activities such as making a bed, washing dishes, preparing food at home requires a minimum of 7 milliliters of oxygen per kilogram per minute. Heavier work around the house such as mopping the floors or vacuuming the carpet requires 12.25 milliliters of oxygen per kilogram per minute. Walking at a very brisk pace requires 17.5 milliliters of oxygen per kilogram per minute, while jogging at 9.6 kilometers per hour requires a minimum of 35 milliliters of oxygen per kilogram per minute. The majority of society perform these activities without having access to these amounts of oxygen, which causes inflammation. Inflammation is the root cause of disease. Hence the utmost importance of understanding what the activities you can perform while using oxygen and which activities you should avoid. If you do not adhere to this, inevitable increase in inflammation will lead to serial increase in cost of living. Contact Medicise today to book your CPET and have a comprehensive understanding of your physiological needs.